God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up, level up, level up. Go. Everything that means everything. Eyes connected to everything, and that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Such a bop. Such a bop, man. I swear. Every time we come on, I'm like, yo. We sitting back here bouncing. Hey, Shawty. This is a bop too, to be honest. What's going on, good peoples? What's going on? Welcome to Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. Doing it for the culture, representing out there. No, I mean. This is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. Presented by God Level. Our host, our aficionado of all things aficionate. That's a word. We just created it right here.
The mother of the podcast.
Yes, sir. Hailing from St. Louis. She's going to join us in a little bit. But yeah, we're going to hold it down until she's able to come from that 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm your girl, Ivy Inattentive Ivy on TikTok, hailing from the great state of Washington. On TikTok, you can find me as Inattentive Ivy. I am a mother. I am a former broadcast journalist. Do some media operations, but mostly I like talking about these hamsters that attend every podcast on Tuesday. I got about 17. I picked up a couple more. I might have about 23 of them. Talking about mental health, ADHD, and all those kinds of other things. We thank you for joining us if you're tuning in and you're listening. And let's go around the horn and introduce ourselves. Mr. Skywalker, the Sly Talker, would you please do your intro, sir?
Yep, as she said, it's John Skywalker, the Sly Talker, a lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I am a father. It ain't changing, it's growing. I have 5 hip-hop albums available on all major streaming music platforms. Now, if you like that conscious, positive hip-hop, you should go ahead and tap in. Got my Father's Day album still in the works. It's probably not going to be released this year, but it's coming out. It's coming. We're pushing. We're getting it organized. It's a pretty hefty project. It's going to be the first of its kind. So if you're not a fan of John Skywalker yet and that idea sounds appealing to you, you need to go ahead and catch up, plug in, listen to music now. Salute.
I heard that. I like that. He's like, hey, go ahead and plug in. Listen, and all his albums are fire, man. Not even kidding. They are all fire. Yeah, lovely. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your art, your artistry, what you put into it. Mr. King Newborneth. Please, sir, would you come on and introduce yourself?
What was the last part again?
I don't even know. Oh, Mr. King Newborneth.
Newborneth the 5th.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Peace. This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. As I normally say, I am that I am that I am. But I'm of service though. I'm definitely of service. And I'm a proud member of this podcast. So I really do appreciate it. Welcome everybody for tuning in. For the 4 that I see is watching, the 5 that I see is watching. Please take time out to comment and call in. We can't do this without you.
That's facts. That is facts. And tonight we definitely can't do this without y'all, man. This is a heavy topic, man. I've been like talking about this and pumping it up because I'm just like, this is talking about forgiveness itself is just a heavy topic. But you know, when you talk about forgiving the person that you are the closest to, which is yourself. Man. You know, I mean, think about it. Who knows you better than yourself, you know?
Yep, no one talks to you more than you talk to yourself.
So what are you filling yourself with? You know what I mean? And I can't wait to hear God Level's thoughts on these, man, because I know she's going to come in with the heat. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Recent experiences, too. It seems like everybody's been going through it. But it just really goes to show how necessary. And that was going to be one of the questions. But forgiveness is necessary. We did not get here as a species without it.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and kick it off. Today, we're talking about how to forgive yourself. Woo. I think there's probably some people who might not even want to tune in because they're just like, like it gave me a little anxiety when I knew we were going to be, doing this topic like itself, because like I said, it's just so heavy. So starting off with the questions, come on with it, Mr. Sly Walker, Sly Talker.
Oh man,
Yes,
I gotta start it off. All right. Well, look, if we're gonna start with John, I'm gonna just give more of a very formal / informal definition. Forgiveness is a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment, vengeance, anger, anything related to an offense, any emotion related to an offense. It's towards, it could be towards a group, it could be towards an individual, and that individual can be yourself. And this is regardless whether you have the opinion of them deserving it or not. I think that's also a key element. It's not about whether they deserve it or who deserves it. You're doing it with the intention of releasing some emotion. I think emotional attachment is sort of implied when it comes to forgiveness, because if you're not attached or you're not clinging on to the phenomenon that created the relationship and the offense in the first place, if that's not there, then there's no need for forgiveness. So I want to also throw in there that the definition also largely depends on your perception of the event, of what occurred. Because I mean, sometimes you start to realize, dang, there was really nothing to forgive in the first place. It's just how I perceived it. So that's my definition. Releasing the emotions.
Now, I was getting ready to say, I was like, let's go ahead and dig into that, because you said perception, right?
Oh.
Talk about perception, because perception is really big, I mean, whole entire wars have been started off of different perceptions, like people, like bloodlines ended, like stuff off of perception, instead of like not really being able to rein in forgiveness. For me personally, my own personal definition of what forgiveness is, it is a release and surrender, right? It's a surrender. Sometimes that is surrendering yourself to acceptance about the what is. Sometimes that's surrendering and releasing yourself to just individual freedom. Just realizing like this is never going to be something that is ended. So either like I free myself of it. Yeah. With this retrograde, people, I don't know about anybody else,
yeah.
this joint has been deep, son. Like it's been all over the place, and there have been so many shifts of emotions from myself personally, and I know that other people have been going through it. I mean, King Newborn, go ahead and speak on it. What do you think forgiveness is, man? I was waiting for the clear throat, because that means he about to get into it. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, and then he's gonna go on a tangent first.
Oh wow!
Because he never goes straight in for it. He got to go around and then get to it.
Well, Bagule.
Oh, he doing
forgiveness. Yeah, forgiveness involves willfully putting aside feelings or resentment towards someone who has committed a wrong, being unfair or hurtful, or otherwise harmed you in some way. Forgiveness is not merely accepting what's happened or ceasing to be angry.
Now,
let's start with that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one. That one. I'm
feelings and resentment.
Yeah, put aside. Oh
well.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Put aside.
In order to think clearly, still based off of what's going on and what happened, you would have to put aside feelings and resentment.
Okay.
In order to assess really what's going on, because you may find yourself at a point that it was the decision that led you to that.
Okay, go ahead and expand on that. Expand on that decision.
I guess it is based off of what has happened to even put you in that position. So it's like no matter what. You can make a decision that's for, you can make a decision that's against. You can also make a decision of not even making a decision. See what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
And at some point, no matter what the decision is, there's a destination. It's going to go somewhere. All decisions have a consequence. Now, the consequence that come about might be for you, might be against you, or it could be for or against the person that is done to.
Okay, let's kick it to the people who are watching. What do you think forgiveness is, good peoples? If you are tuning in right now, maybe give a call in. Yeah, put it in the comments, something, just let us know, like, what is it that you feel that forgiveness is? Because I like what you said, Newborn, about making a decision. Because so we've got decision, we've got perception, right? This
Resentment.
resentment. So if you don't make a decision, right, and you don't, hi David, if you don't make a decision about, I guess, whatever the offense is, and if you've already perceived that you've been offended, like, is there, I mean, if you take away those two elements, perception and decision, then do you have a need for forgiveness? Can you just be forgiven for who you are? I mean, does somebody, for just being who they are, need forgiveness? I promise you, I got something to that. I promise you, I'm going somewhere with it. Just being who you are, do you feel like, like we need to give forgiveness, or that somebody needs to get forgiveness?
Ooh, I guess the question is, who are you? Who are you to be needing that?
I'm so glad that you said that. You said, "Who are you?" Right? Because in my own estimation, with my forgiving of myself, I have been realizing that how can I forgive myself if I don't truly know exactly who I am?
Hold up. All right. Hold up. Ooh, who am I forgiving? Oh.
Kelly Barnes just said, "Forgive me. Forgiveness is releasing active emotional connection to an action or a person." To an
Love
action
it.
or a person.
I agree.
I can rock with that. Yeah. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it. Yeah. I could
And
definitely
it's
rock with that.
still
Hi, Bridget.
and it's still a decision.
Oh, okay. It's still a decision for you to forgive that action or the person.
Facts.
Okay.
And even with what you said, that's still a decision.
Making a decision to decide who you are.
Facts.
Because I think you have to make a decision to explore who you are. Let's go ahead and keep this a buck, man. You still got people out there who are 30, 40 years old who don't know exactly who they are, right? And if you don't know who you are, then how do you know, like, who it is that you're forgiving if you don't know what's at the core of you? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I have found. That's what I had found. I was like, how is it that I can forgive myself, but I was living for everything and everybody else in the midst of all the things that was happening that I felt that I needed to forgive myself for. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and I'll put a spin on it. Let me put a half a penny on it. I'm put a half a penny on it. Once you take the time to make the decision to forgive yourself, don't nothing else matter. If you keep it a buck, that's where it stops at, right then and there. It doesn't even move forward.
Okay.
Think about it.
Expand on that, Mr. Miller.
Regardless of what's going on, when you respond to anything, first you got to deal with that emotion that's attached to it, right? It could be pain, hurt, you're sad, angry, whatever it is that puts you in a negative space. But when you sit back and be like, man, I kind of understand why they did what they did, right? Maybe they was wrong for doing what they have done. But is it for you to hold on to it? Should you, like, keep cradling it? Because even when you go to therapy, that's what they want you to do, is to release that. But you got to do it with yourself first, because you constantly holding on to something that happened of the past. It's no longer the present anymore. If it was something that you could address, you would have addressed it then, not later. Sometimes we put ourselves under heavy scrutiny. Man, I wish I should have, I could have, would have. And if I would, man, now that I know better, so I would have. That's true. That's true.
There's, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
You
peace.
go right ahead, Mr. You go right ahead, Mr. King Newborn. If please. Though there is a saying in the recovery community, right? It says that you should not should on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because the shoulding itself is abusive to who you
Facts.
are, right?
Facts.
Like if you live in the shoulda, coulda, woulda. So they're like, you shouldn't should on yourself. However, that is easier said than done, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, should is more of a prescription, right?
Okay.
You should do this. That's a prescription.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because that means that you don't necessarily have to take it. Listen, what are
hello.
you out this, man?
Hello.
But the thing is that if they give you a prescription, that I think that if you get a prescription for something, that means that it should be solved within a couple of days or a couple of administrations of said medicine. That's my idea, right? So my thing is that if your should is a medication, how exactly are you administering that to yourself? Anybody? I'm just out here talking. Y'all know I can talk. I was sitting here to talk, but I'm just asking questions, right? Okay, so okay, what is not forgiveness? I need to hear you on this one, Mr.
Yeah,
Slywalker.
we gotta demystify. You know, we're just getting some clarity on what we're dealing with, right? So there's no confusion. There's components here. You know, it's a vehicle. We don't want to be like, oh, we're only dealing with the tires, right? So I know one thing that forgiveness is not is it's not just a mere apology. It's not just condoning the negative behavior. It's not ignoring what happened either. It's not that. It's not pretending that you're not hurt. It's not that. It's forgiveness is not even relief from responsibility. Some people got that. Yeah, some people get that misconstrued. It's, oh yeah, okay, I forgive you. Oh, okay, I'm no longer responsible. Oh no, I'm just saying I'm letting
son.
go. All right, so it's a release, right? And forgiveness is not necessarily a restoration of trust. A lot of the times you think, all right. Forgiveness is not reconciliation.
We're having problems hearing you. You went into a wind tunnel for a second.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. What you just do?
You did something. It sounded better.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yeah. Forgiveness is not. Dang it. What was I saying? Oh, it's not reconciliation. We also get those two mixed up. Reconciliation is about restoring the balance. It's the justice part. All right. Now we acknowledge who did what, who's the victim, who's the perp. Now we got to start rebuilding the relationship. That's reconciliation. Forgiveness is not reconciliation, though. Forgiveness merely just acknowledges this was the emotion that was in the way. This is the content that was in the way, and I'm letting it go. It no longer serves me. I can't keep bringing this debt forward. Like I'm letting it go. I'm forgiving the debt because I'm in debt too with you. So when I'm holding on to it, I'm holding on to the debt with you.
Oh, I'm holding on to the debt with that is a whoo. But then again, you said so you said if I'm holding on to the debt, I'm holding on to the debt with you, right? So when the debt is within yourself. Okay, hold on to that because I just want to point out, right? Okay, so Nancy says forgiveness is about taking back the power of hurt someone has over you, and I wanted to go back to Mo because Mo said that forgiveness is confronting your actions. That's her understanding of forgiveness, understanding like I guess forgiveness and confronting the actions of self, right? Yeah, I just wanted to bring those two up. And I think that honestly, forgiveness is not lip service. If they say that love is action, I think that forgiveness is action, because isn't forgiveness like a thing of love? You know what I'm
Yeah, of
saying? Isn't that
course. I
a
mean,
yeah?
if you're releasing these negative emotions, if you're releasing this energy that's got you trapped, that's holding you in place, or it's slowing you down, if you're letting it go, forgiveness is the path to liberation. Forgiveness is the path to liberation.
So I would kick it out there again. If forgiveness is love and forgiving ourselves is a liberation, then does that mean that we don't love ourselves when we can't forgive ourselves? It's ugly. Who want to speak on that? Go ahead, King Newborn. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Well, at some point, if you're gonna forgive yourself, you got to show signs of remorse. Got to show signs of remorse, and that may be hard to do, because we all, at some point, due to our ego, feel that we're right. I didn't do nothing wrong. Yes, you did. You wronged yourself. You wronged yourself. You might not like the decision that you made at the time, but some way, somehow, it come back to you wronged yourself. Do you really love yourself, though? Think about it. Now, you might have made that decision in a moment of it feels good. But the conclusion from that decision don't feel so good. Because then you start to project. Oh, well, if they wouldn't have, or they shouldn't have had a... No. It was all you. It was all you.
How you bring it back to yourself?
Admit. Don't play the victim.
Bro, that is okay. Once again, you done said a mouthful, and let's go ahead and keep this a buck again. With today's conditioning.
There it is.
With today's conditioning,
Facts.
right? How is it that people are going to be like, I can take myself out of victimization mode? Ooh, I like that. I like that, Jaja. Not that we can't love ourselves, but we aren't actively loving ourselves by holding on to unforgiveness.
So it's in the moment. It's when
Pretty
you recognize in that moment that even if it's okay, it's been enduring, right? It's habitual, it's been coming back up. You might be loving yourself in other ways, but in this particular instance, this one particular variable, you're not. Okay. It's not active.
It's not balanced.
You know, I heard somebody say a little while ago, and definitely they were in the rooms, and I think they were talking about we were talking about forgiving your parents, right? And somebody said that forgiveness sometimes comes around to, it looks like you have to wake up and forgive every day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you be like, I can't stand you today. I want to punch you in the face. You know what I'm saying? But then you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, and you're like, okay, I gotta actively forgive. That's why I'm like, loving is an action.
Commitment.
You see yes, I think that you honestly have to make a commitment to forgive. And if you're not willing to make that commitment to forgiving whatever action, entity, I mean, like all of it, right? I mean, don't go in and half-ass it. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I mean, and keep that a buck. Be real about where you are and be like, nah, I'm not really in forgiveness today. I'm not really in forgiveness right now. You know, I'll just throwing that out there. Thank you, Patricia Patrick. Appreciate it. But
I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody, you know, can look at a situation, and whether they like it or not, they fault themselves about the decision that was made. Like they try really hard to say, well, I was in the right. The fact that you're even conflicted about the decision, just that part alone means that, okay, let me stand back from it and let me really look at this. Did I really wrong myself? Because sometimes, like I said, Miss Tanner, not making a decision is a decision, and sometimes that's the best decision.
But if you don't make a decision, then that keeps you stuck. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, if
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's like you can be stuck, but
Well,
do
you
you
know
really
what?
like to
I know
live
what
there?
he's. Okay, so
th-
I kind of understand that perspective. He's because I had to do this all week and weekend, right?
Okay.
So if it's storming outside, it's raining, it's heavy rain, winds. Are you going to keep driving fast, 65? You're probably going to slow down. If it gets
Hmm.
really, really wet and the roads get really, really slippery, conditions to move, the conditions to move, the conditions to make a move are not
facts.
favorable. So you got to stay still. Wait until the conditions improve. So it's
Oh
okay to
man.
it's okay to slow down and it's okay to stop, but don't stay there.
Big
Oh
fact.
my goodness.
But
Well,
we're talking about decisions, right? So some people they're like, okay, I'm gonna just stop right here, just for like a few, it's just temporary, and then it transitions into permanence. The plan was temporary, but some people just unconsciously get complacent, like, all right, yeah, 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 yeah. I know the conditions are better, but man, this is so nice. Let me just stay here. They don't move. They don't make the move.
Mm.
hey, in the meantime, we gotta represent. Go ahead, God level.
What's
She's
good?
ah,
What's good? What's
ah,
good?
ah, ah.
Sorry for my tardiness. You all know that I'm a nurse and things just change like that when it comes to work. But I am God level. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. This is things that people don't want to talk about. I am a mother. I am a nurse. I'm an aunt. I'm a Gigi. I'm a sister. I'm a cousin. I'm a friend. I am everything good. And I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. I want to thank everyone for checking out my website. As soon as you went live, it was just like, doo-doo-doo. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, that's John. He got it down there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and listen in and then jump in when I can. This is what self-forgiveness. Why is forgiving yourself so hard?
Man, come on, man. I'm telling you, because I gotta. Whew, man, I was just talking about like how when we first like came in here, like the
Mm-hmm.
retrograde and like all the messages from the retrograde have been pushing people to like confront themselves, and for
Yeah.
me, confront myself and just like have those messages about forgiveness. Oh my gosh, it's been something else. I just want to point out that okay, so Kelly says sometimes forgiving myself feels selfish. Ooh, man, as though I ought to be punishing myself rather than letting myself off the hook. Hashtag conditioning. Come on, man. Let's talk about
Or you
conditioning,
feel
man.
like you don't deserve it, but you do. You will
That, but
forgive
you,
someone else for hurting you. What's wrong with forgiving you?
The ego. I said it already.
come.
It's the ego.
Ooh, see, I'm late. Mm.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're late. You right on time.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. How you doing,
Yeah.
brother?
Peace, peace,
I'm sorry,
peace.
King Newborn.
No, it's all love.
You know I get real excited when I see you. You know.
Oh, well. Let me put a little bit of razzle dazzle. I was almost gonna say sprinkle, sprinkle. Well, I'm put a little razzle dazzle on it. Your hair is looking
Okay.
exceptionally well.
Thank
It
you. This
does.
is.
Yes, ma'am. I like the natural in you. Yeah. Let it all out. Let it all out. Gonna go up a notch. Yeah.
Going,
Okay.
I've been
Yeah.
thinking about taking the commitment, but I wanted to go short this summer, just
Mhm.
for a couple of months, and then go right back to it. I'm not gonna lie; it's something that I want to do and get out my system before I make the commitment. But
Yeah.
thank you.
I just want to put it out there that peace to all the mothers of the earth, the women of the earth, the females of the earth. I love this shift of natural beauty that's arising. A lot of you women
It
are
is
standing
chill.
up. You're standing up big time. It is
It is.
so attractive. So attractive.
Mm.
Well, forgive me for getting a perm next week. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. My bad.
Girl, don't you put no creamy crack in your head.
Man, I haven't had a perm
Don't you
since
put,
'96, y'all. I haven't had a
man.
perm since '96,
I,
so you ain't gotta worry about it.
I can't tell you when the last time I had a perm. That's how long ago I've had a perm. Like I would not put a creamy crack in. No, please, no.
Hey, can I go back to Irvin Barton's? Like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I was like, I just wanted to, like, yeah,
Hmm.
because I really like his quote. He said, "Forgiveness to me is peace," and yeah, Mr. Newborn, King Newborn is always talking
For
peace. Peace.
Yeah, you
You
got
won't
to.
find. Yeah,
I wanted
you
to
won't.
speak on it, but I was letting y'all flow. But go ahead, Miss Turner. My bad.
No. You go ahead. I just put it out there because I knew that you would gravitate to it. Yes.
Mm, always.
You peace
Go
is
ahead,
not
King
what
Newborn.
everybody. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. Peace is not necessarily negative nor positive. Is you understanding the whole entire situation and your involvement in it. And once you arrive to that, you have a greater understanding. Yeah, I'm talking about it. It's like a calmness come over you. You don't allow yourself
Mm,
to be in your feelings nor your emotion, as John would say, Skywalker would say. You then just stepped into emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And the more you practice that, the more you're able to make sound decisions. Sound decisions. You can almost predict everything you're going to do within that decision before it even happened. You already know it's going this way. So hold on. Not no no well, tell you what, let me just do this.
mm,
Because it allows me to have peace within the decision. So that way when I get to whatever the said destination is, and if it even rubs you the wrong way, I know what I did was in peace. So that's why I
mm.
always stay there. And
Okay.
that's not easy to do though. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying, one podcast you no.
No, it's just some levels to that shit, baby.
Oh yeah,
It
and you got to
is.
pull out your
Excuse my
shovel
language.
and dig deep
Ooh.
within yourself. You got to dig
You have to
deep
go
within
deep
yourself.
within, yeah,
Deep.
because you have to remember we are now moving in our authentic self, and what I mean by that is when we come into this world, we are authentic. It is the trauma and the drama that we experience that we start
Yep.
putting on all of these shells.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to peel back all of that and get to the root of you, and then look back at what you went through and say, you know what, a lot of this was not on me. And and put that pain, take that pain that's in a book bag that you're carrying on your back, and say, you know what, I'm done with that.
Hey, that's
I'm
exactly what I
done
said
with
at the
that.
beginning. Yeah,
Let it
that's
go.
exactly what I said at the beginning of the show. I was like, how can you forgive yourself if you don't know who you are? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're still trying to figure out who you are. I will keep this completely and totally real, like for real. I mean, I was conditioned. I grew up where I had to live for everybody else. I was supposed to be this.
Mm,
I was supposed to be this. I was supposed to be this. And my body and my mind were subconsciously rejecting everything that was being taught to me. But because of the fact that my peoples grew up in pain with their own traumas. They wanted to control the situation and control a whole entire other human being. I didn't even know that controlling a human or trying to control a human being was egregious until like later on in my life. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like I'm getting to really know who I am. And all of that stuff that's flushing to the surface is like, damn, that's there. Damn, that's there too. Damn, that's me. Oh, yeah, that's me. Okay. And so now it's become a reckoning. And I'm having to forgive myself every day when I wake up all over again. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still
right.
getting to know parts of myself. So I mean, there are people out there who don't understand that yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember there was somebody in
Yeah.
the group who said, I can't forgive myself because I tell myself I knew better. I should have known better.
I I don't want to take away from what you're saying, but I do want to add. I want to add to your wisdom real fast. With these triggers and this passed down trauma, uh, it's another level of thick indoctrination. And there's nothing that you could do about that. Just like God level pointed out, you came into this world already equipped with everything that you need to survive, to build, to grow, and develop. But we all have coachings.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Put that down.
Mm,
Stop this. Stop that.
come on.
Now, don't you go over there. I done told you what's going to happen.
Hmm.
It happens to all of us.
Hmm.
But
Yes,
still,
it
yet,
does.
yet, yet, when we get to that point, when we know better, I'm just saying we just know better. No, when you know better, not just because it don't feel right, you just know better. There ain't nobody had to tell you. You just know better, but you still
Mm.
choose to go against that. Make that make sense?
Some people don't know better because they were never given a chance and an option to see if they know better. Let me. when you are,
doing that.
Would you?
Go
Would
ahead.
Come
you?
on.
Would you? Would you step in front of a car?
No.
No, no, no,
A
no.
movie,
I'm not
a
even. I'm
movie
not. I'm
vehicle.
not even trying to be funny. Would you
Okay,
step in front
no.
of them? Okay. Now, is that something that had to be taught?
It is something that you just you know that a
I'm
car is
just
going to
back to the
approach you.
conscious level. That we can't
Wow.
escape that.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
That's a
So
conscious
let's
download. Easy.
that's it. So we see lots of examples of people stepping in front of vehicles and getting smashed every day from the time that you are 4, 5, or 6 years old, right? That's a lot
So
better.
now
Hold
we
on.
back to indoctrination.
Hold on. Right? We are back to indoctrination, but hold on. So we see lots of examples. We know scientifically what's going to happen if we step in front of a car.
Right.
But how do you know what's going to happen if you feel unsafe? So you try to manipulate somebody. You know what I'm saying? You feel like
you manipulating
you-
yourself.
but you don't know that you're manipulating yourself. If
Of
you're
course,
just
this is the scientific part you're speaking about, right? I mean, the scientific method is basically fuck around and find out, right?
oh, come on, man.
Ooh. Ooh.
And
I love it.
there's a level of naivety.
Ooh.
So there's wisdom and experience, and then there's
Okay,
naivety.
John.
All right, naivety. I am
Mhm.
naive. I do not know,
Naive.
but I believe something here. I have some assumptions here.
Mm-hmm.
Every scientific inquiry begins with an assumption. There's no escaping it. No matter.
Thank you, Urban, for
it's
popping up.
logical. It's evidence based. Okay, you still have what's called an educated guess, which is just basically saying an informed
Hypotheses.
assumption.
Yep.
It's all right. So everyone makes the assumption, and then you go out and you find out. And then you're supposed to come back and say, okay, did that work or it didn't work?
Nope.
Didn't work? Why didn't it
Nope.
work? Was it me? Was it the environment? Hence, even in scientific inquiry, you have to review your results.
The data.
We just talked about that, me and John, this weekend. Assumptions.
But people,
You can get lumps.
you can get lumps, right? But people who do not have the ability to self-reflect are not going to get that. The definition of insanity, right, is doing the same thing over and over again, but thinking that you're going to get different results. But some people don't have the ability to look inwardly. And it's the ego. I knew what you was about to say because I saw him over there getting ready to clear his throat. King Newborn. It's the ego, man. So let's go ahead and keep it up once again. Your ego keeps you from looking and self-reflecting. Your ego can keep you from forgiving others. Your ego can keep you from forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
So then the question really becomes, how do you lose your ego?
If I gave you a hug, bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in. Come on, bring it in.
I can see that.
Bring it in.
In the midst when you're having that moment.
All of that emotion,
in the midst
build
of
up,
that emotional moment,
bring it in.
a hug can kill all of that. Like, come here.
Bring it in.
Come here.
Bring it in.
Now, what about the people who don't have hugs?
Well, under certain conditions, right? Because this is
true.
a theory.
Yeah.
The theory. It don't work all the time, right? But under certain conditions, that will work. One main assumption is the person cares about you, right?
That's true too.
The person
you ever got a hug from a stranger though?
Have you ever hugged a stranger?
Have you ever had a hug from a stranger?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Cut you off guard, be like, this is silly. And you get embraced from a stranger, and you feel weird. You be like, for whatever reason, I feel like I should hug them back, but I don't know why. Okay.
Everybody, tomorrow, that's everybody that's watching this podcast. That is your homework for tomorrow. Hug someone you don't know.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Let's change the
just
community.
go out and just hug someone. Just one hug at a time. Hug someone you don't know. Just hey, you come here. Let me hug them. You know? Do that.
Yeah. Here we go. There we go.
Ooh.
Taming the ego. Tame the ego. The ego is the interface now. It's the ego. The ego is the interface. It allows the higher to interface with the lower. So that's the interface.
I love Renee.
It's our Microsoft Office for our experience here.
I download. Ooh, hey. But somebody popped the question up there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one. There you go. Stanley said, knowing better and still acting selfless Now what? What if you don't feel self-deserving?
That's a feeling.
Can I?
It's a feeling.
I said that.
Is it true?
Some
Is it
people
true?
don't feel like they deserve forgiveness or self-forgiveness.
You almost
Can I-
playing with assumption again.
I was about to say, come on, can I take this? Can I
Take
take
it.
this, please?
Do your thing.
Woo! In recovery, baby, I'm telling you, even though you don't feel self-deserving, and this is going to be a hard pill for some people to swallow,
Mm-hmm.
it's still your ego.
Yeah.
I don't feel good enough. I'm not good enough
Mm.
to deserve forgiveness. You're self-depreciating, and you're self-depreciating. Let me go back to me, because some people don't want to hear this, right? I self-depreciated for years. Didn't think that I was worthy of forgiving myself for stuff that I have done. And like I said, even now, with all of my stuff that's coming up to the surface, I still have to forgive myself on a daily basis. And it was a mind screw for me when I had my therapist, my sponsor, and everybody else tell me, do you know that treating yourself bad is actually just as bad as kicking a puppy in the face? It is a moral impairment to not treat yourself well. It's that victimization. I was leaving myself just being like, oh, I deserve for everybody to fix my problems for me except for me. I'm talking about myself here now. Now I'm not putting that out there for anybody else.
Is that rooted in a feeling, or is just that's just a thought?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you just brought that back to the. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's
yeah,
the source?
yeah.
What's the source of that?
What's the source of I didn't feel good enough?
That voice. What's the source of that voice? Do you
The
know?
source of that voice was something that was egoic in me. It was something it was a thought within myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was for the way that it was conditioning. And maybe that's what you know what I'm saying? It was conditioning. Like I said, I was raised to self-subsume for everybody else, right? And when I didn't take care of myself, I didn't realize that it was up to me to take care of myself. And I wanted to make it everybody else's issue to take care of me instead of me taking care of me.
So this a thought or a feeling? Because I'm trying to decipher.
It sounds like it's just more so a thought, like a consciousness.
Okay.
Because you said
Yeah.
conditioning, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like, all right,
It's
you had some
subconscious.
experiences. Yeah, you had some experiences, and then you had thoughts about those experiences, and those
Yeah.
thoughts grew into a consciousness that became aligned with your personality. But it's your ego,
Mhm.
right? We're saying
Yeah.
it's ego.
Ego.
So that's just one of your many voices within the ego. So yeah.
Yeah, 'cause the way that human beings take in anything, the way that we react to anything, right, is we get data first. However it is that we process it, we get data. So the data was somebody did something to me. It's just data until I add a thought to it, and the thought comes from my conditioning. My thought was, I'm not good enough, so this person is doing this. So into that thought, I added a feeling. I feel mad. I feel sad. I feel depressed. I feel inward. So that caused me to react like I am a victim. You understand what I'm saying? So it was a thought and a feeling. Thought come first, then the feeling came next.
Mhm.
Peace,
And then
peace,
Yeah.
peace, sir, brother.
and it's
There
recycling,
you go,
right?
Stanley.
Peace and
Thank
light.
you.
Peace and light.
It's recycling, right? So
Yeah.
it's looking for those situations to where it's like, okay, this is where I come in, and cue me, the voice that's about to bring the house down. So it's primed, right? We got priming. So take it a step further. Do you ever challenge that voice? Do you ever converse with it?
All the time.
Mhm.
Okay.
All the time. Listen, y'all know I don't mind talking about me and my struggles, right? I tell myself every day, especially since I've been going through therapy, recovery, and everything else, I live with hamsters and a couple of shady characters in my brain. Okay? Like, I'm serious. I got my ego. I've got my validation addict. Her name is Molly. She's a little girl. She's from like San Paulo, California, right? I've got my G.I. Jane. That's my PTSD. I've got all of these characters. I've got my shadow self. My shadow self, he's a gay man named Ivan. He's fabulous. He's from Miami. And listen, all of these people, they talk to me. I'm not crazy. I promise you. This is self-reckoning, okay?
Well,
I'm
you're
just
aware
putting
of
it
them
there.
though. You're aware of them though. So that's the
Very.
difference. Yeah.
Very. And when they talk to me, if they tell me something, like they give me those, sometimes they used to give me bad messages on a loop all the time. But now I push back and be like, nope, Ivan, I need you to go ahead and sit the hell down because you don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna come to you later. Thank you for doing what you used to do to think that you needed to keep me safe in the past. But I am in the seat now, and you can take a back seat. I'm in the driver's seat though. You see what I'm saying? So that was like I challenge them all the time.
Yeah.
And
Taming
yes,
them.
yes.
So
And
you was able to
integrating them.
forgive yourself?
I still forgive myself every day because there's still stuff that I'm coming to realize about myself that I have to forgive myself for every day. You understand what I'm saying?
It's a
Like
beautiful feeling, ain't it?
it is, man. It
You get
is.
chills sometimes.
I do. And I hugged myself and I'm just like, you go, girl. What does forgiveness offer us? Freedom, peace, acceptance, surrender. Yeah.
Go ahead.
What else do you see it? Where else do you see it manifest? Oh, God level. Your mic is not.
Yeah, it's not working. It offers all of that though. Go ahead, Ma.
Nope, we don't hear you. We don't hear you. We don't hear you.
Still don't hear you,
Check
girl.
your settings. Check your audio settings. Check your audio settings. So, healthier relationships.
No, nothing.
Oh, boo. Healthy relationships.
Lower blood pressure, because let me tell you, when you holding all that resentment in, man.
Okay. I wanted to point something
that's
out.
True. That's true.
When it comes to forgiving yourself, there's another element to it. You have to know that you are worthy. You're worth it.
Girl.
You're worth it. You are worth it.
And you know the beauty of it is that we're just talking about forgiving yourself.
Yeah. Ooh.
You're worth you forgiving you. You want to really put a chill down your back. Stand in the mirror and just say, "Hey, I forgive you and I love you."
Forgive you and I. Ooh, that is deep. Have you tried that?
Yeah, that's how I'm where I am. Yeah.
That is go ahead.
Yeah.
First time I tried to do that, I cried. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just finna say, I understand I'm devil and God at the same time. Period. I don't care what nobody say. You can say, "Oh, he's crazy." I'm
no.
Time.
You are.
Yeah, peace. Yeah,
you
that's
really
peace.
are. Goes
Yin
back to
yang.
that little. Yeah, you really are. Who are
this
you going to allow to win today?
Exactly. It's a dance I do all day, every day. Depending on the situation, we can shift at any point. But it's up to me to center myself. It's up to me. It's nobody else's job. It's up to me. And the more information you acquire, the more knowledge you acquire, it comes with wisdom, discernment. When you bring yourself to the understanding, you can't allow these decisions to get you, what you say, John, fuck around and find out.
Come on. I will be honest and say the first time that I did that, first time that I stood in the mirror and I say, "I love you and I forgive you," I cried. It didn't feel right.
Yeah. Ooh.
It did not feel right, y'all.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna kid with you. And I'm gonna be honest again. It was not that long ago. We're talking like I started my journey, my recovery journey, my therapy journey like 3 years ago. Like for real. I started it like 3 years ago. And almost 4. And the first time I stood in the mirror and looked at myself and I tried to tell myself that I was beautiful, like a beautiful person, I cried. I cried doing all of those affirmations because I didn't believe it and I didn't think it. And looking at me from the outside, people were like, "How could you ever?" Nah, bro, it was messed up in here. You know what I'm saying?
We grow up in a society that is that we have been programmed to believe that outside validation means more than you validating yourself.
Hello.
It's curated.
Don't say that too loud. This is for educational purpose and entertainment purposes only. We are not trying to shut down TikTok or any other social media platform that allows you to go picture perfect. But anyway,
I can't.
One more thing. Shout out to the pledge to the Red, Black, and Green Dark Matter group for sharing our podcast. Thank you, Dante, for reacting. We really appreciate you.
Peace,
That's my
peace.
nephew. Hey, Samuel. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for
Hey,
joining us
Samuel.
tonight. This is things that people don't want to talk about. We are giving back which has been lost. Mm,
Taking our
Ivy.
community back.
Facts.
Yes, we
One
are.
Facts.
podcast at a time. One
Come
podcast
on,
Yes,
man.
at a
one
time.
podcast at a time.
Hey, I
Yeah.
like this question right here though. Is it
Come on,
harder to
man.
forgive yourself compared to forgiving others? And for me,
Yes.
it's harder to forgive others versus forgiving myself. See, I can control me. People are unpredictable.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I forgive you. You still act out. Now I got to go sit in the corner and chastise me. Now, hey, listen. I know you heard what he said. He had a rebuttal. It did not feel good. I know. But are you going to allow it to control you, though?
Mm,
Hmm?
that is a very good question.
Hmm?
As a Black woman, it has
Mm,
always been easier to forgive others
other
than
people.
to forgive myself.
Yourself. Yeah.
Black women are raised to subsume themselves. We are raised to take care of everybody else. We
Mhm.
are raised
To
to
be
hold up
last.
the
Yes.
and we're not it's almost like the reason why it was so hard to start forgiving myself is because of the fact that nobody else gave me any forgiveness. It was always, you got to be strong, you got to be hard, you got to put everybody else's burdens on your shoulder. And when I felt like I wasn't holding up to that, I was like, I can never forgive myself. Oh, but it's easy to forgive you. It's easy to forgive anybody out there when you're giving yourself and your power away.
Mm,
I mean, we talked at the beginning. Somebody said, "What does forgiveness offer you?" Let's go ahead and talk about how Black women have the highest rates of heart disease,
yeah.
of autoimmune diseases, of what is it? What of thyroid, like thyroid disorders and things of that sort. And the
Yeah.
reason being is because we live in this unforgiveness of ourselves. We should have known better. We should have taken Johnny to the doctor that day, not the second day. It doesn't
We
matter that
should
we
have
was
picked
bleeding.
better.
Come on.
Now, Miss Tanner, let me bring you back to center. So you understand when you
I
say
don't know if
you
it's
should
hold on,
have
wait,
picked
wait.
better.
I'm just
No.
saying.
When you
I'm
say you
just
should
saying.
have picked better, that means you should have
Yeah.
picked you first.
But
Period.
but here's the thing. A lot of young Black women or of my age and maybe even a little younger didn't grow up in a home where they were taught how to love themselves first.
Or pick themselves first.
There you
It's,
go.
it's a conditioning.
It is. It really is.
How long do you continue to say it's a condition if the way you're going about doing something yields you no new result?
But here's the thing, if you
Go ahead,
don't
Mom.
know, if you've never seen anything different, then you're going to continue to repeat it. That's it.
I mean, I give you that. I give you that.
Mhm.
Just like we said before.
But in even in worst case scenario world, you still know what's right from wrong. You still
Okay,
understand
okay.
that this is not healthy for you or good for you.
Nope,
You
I got
still
you.
see yourself spiraling down extra BS when you don't even have to be there.
Do
You
you
do.
drink soda? Do you drink soda?
No more. No
Oh
No
more.
my
more.
gosh.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
still
no
eat
more.
meat? Do you still eat meat?
And I'm glad you're bringing this up.
I'm
Let's
I'm
talk
just
about
saying
it.
because
Matter of fact,
I'm just saying because
let me
we
send you
know
what I
that
just
certain
heard
things
today.
are not good for us,
No,
yet
those
we
are
still
facts.
do it. Oh,
Those
we
are
know
facts.
soda ain't good for it, but hey
We
man, let me
still
get a
do
cold
it. Yeah.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
You know those
Yeah.
McDonald's fries is cooking for 6 weeks and they white before they serve them to you, and
But
they've
yet
been
you ain't
sprayed
never
with
seen the
chemicals and they
potatoes. You
can't
ain't
be
never seen
touched.
the potatoes.
You ain't never seen the potatoes because they keep the potatoes in a dark room, but you still in line at the drive-thru.
Oh
And
Let
yeah.
me
let's
get fresh
Yeah.
fries.
Yeah.
let's talk about how every
Because it
potato
feels
that's
good though.
around
It
you.
feels good
Yeah.
though.
No. Let's talk about how every potato that's around you is still fine with getting fried, even though you know that you know that stuff is not right, right?
Yeah, and you
When
still
you
do
are
it.
still in that environment
Still
with
do it.
just doing the conditioning, when it feels wrong, they are reinforcing the conditioning. I will give you a perfect example, and I will use myself. Right?
John said ego.
That's fine. You can say ego, but I will tell you that when things happen in my relationship that were not right, the conditioning was reinforced with, I gotta leave. This doesn't feel right. I just need some help to just get out of this space, to get out of this situation. No, you go back. You go back because that's what we do. That's what we do. You need that because that's what we do. And that is reason why we cannot get out of the space that we are in until we take a complete block and we realize that we can't rely on those people and their conditioning anymore. And then we are just out there just floating. And it takes serious separation and it takes serious introspection. And when you've never been taught to have that introspection, baby, that's a heal itself. How can I forgive myself when I don't know myself?
So is that in everything or partial? Just
I mean, you get conditioned by different entities, but the thing is that a lot of times it doesn't matter what those different entities are. You will have the potatoes that are around you that are still in the dark as well. You know what I'm saying? And they are reinforcing in the conditioning. You can't forgive yourself when people around you are telling you, don't forgive yourself. Go out there and subsume yourself. Continue to do this. Forgive your parents when they just smacked you in the face yesterday. I can only do that when I finally figure out who I am. When I can finally figure out who I am, I can be like, that ain't nothing. That little hit wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But like, because I got me and I'm good. But the thing is that you got to figure out who you are first.
And a lot of us don't
so
know
we're still talking about intrapersonal intelligence, right? Because there are several intelligences. So yes, if you have a low or a weak intrapersonal intelligence, and you know, when we're talking about intrapersonal intelligence, it involves self-awareness, it involves self-reflection, introspection, right? And this is also about having a deep understanding of your beliefs, your values, your weaknesses, your strengths, the inner workings. If you're not aware of that, then I mean, how do you know what to change, when to change, how to change it, how much of it to change? You got to do an inventory. So that requires an awareness and a willingness to look. So if you don't have the willingness to look, you're not going to improve on your intrapersonal intelligence. And then there's the social intelligence as well. But that's another one. But
thank you, Renee. Thank you, Renee. The other Renee, the Renee that's watching. I'm sorry.
So I would like to share the results of this question right here.
Go right ahead.
Is it harder to forgive? Is it harder to forgive yourself versus others? We had 12 votes. Out of these 12 votes, we had, we had 2 say it's easier to forgive myself. We had the majority of the votes go to it's easier to forgive others.
Other people.
8. The other options were both are equally challenging and undecided right now. We had 2 say that they were undecided. For me, they're both equally challenging. There's no one that's greater. I look at forgiveness like, all right, hey, I'm getting it from somewhere higher than me. So I'm going to give some to me and I'm going to give some to other people. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, what do I need for this relationship or for this moment right now? Oh, I need the forgiveness for myself, so I'm gonna take some for me. Hey, John, I need to be forgiven over here. Okay, I might give you a little something over there, but I am guiding the forgiveness. It's through me, right? So I'm just basically deciding, all right, if I'm gonna give this person some forgiveness or if I'm gonna. So it's not a one way. It's not a one-way travel, you know, it's bilateral. It's going to come down to me and it's going to go out to you, but ultimately it's going to be balanced.
Recognize that. Please acknowledge Jose. Please.
Bars. Where my signs?
There's no change.
We need to get some little 100, 100. I need some paper to fill up.
Get my signs. I'll be back.
Go get your signs, girl. Thank you, Jose, for pointing that out. If you can't forgive yourself, you will find yourself reliving the same circumstance. Woo! And this also sounds like you're not looking within to figure out who the hell you are.
But if people can, you can't make a decision
Decisions,
if you don't know who
choices,
you are, though.
execution. Is that it? Did I say it right?
Decide, choose, execute. Yeah.
Decide, choose, execute. That's you see, I be
Nice.
listening to you, brother. I be listening. I be listening.
I don't have
Decide,
no
choose,
smoke.
execute.
No
I
smoke.
like that. I like that.
Decide, choose, and execute. He hit me
I
with
like
that
that.
years ago, and I still remember that.
Yeah.
I like that. Those are
I'm
bars.
telling y'all.
Bars. I just want to point out for what Jose said, right? If you can't forgive yourself, you will find yourself reliving the same circumstances. Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that universe, that host, that God, that, whoever it is, whatever, it will keep on happening to you until you get that message.
Yeah.
And it's happening to you for a reason.
Yeah.
It's happening for a reason.
Yeah, you
And
keep
that's something.
attracting it.
Ooh.
You keep
And
attracting
why
Did you really grow from that moment?
Ooh, come on,
Oh
man.
no, Renee just said it. Better learn that lesson.
Come
That's
on,
what it
man.
is.
Lesson.
Because it's
That's the
going
only
to
way
keep
you
on
go
coming
to the
back.
next test.
To it,
You ain't
yeah.
gonna get to the next test until you learn that lesson. But that
Yeah.
question you just put up there, sir.
Yeah, bring that back up. Let's bring it back up.
Ooh, how do you know when you truly forgiving yourself? When you could talk about things that have hurt you in the past and not shed a tear. When you can take what has happened to you and help someone else. When you feel relieved, when you feel at peace, when you look within and finally say, I let that go. I'm sorry, I answered real quick, didn't I? I'm sorry.
No, you did
I
right.
love it, though.
Because I was gonna say I cried and got cocky. Yeah, I cried and I got cocky. I was like, yo,
I dig that.
That old version of you.
Mm.
And I'm gonna say it just like this. That nigga dead.
I mean, and
Yeah, no, he's dead. Yeah, flat out. He's dead. I killed him off. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Now, but here's the thing though. I had to start from scratch because all them decisions that was made,
Was
I had
made
to
by
do the
that
work.
person, that version
they
of you.
did. So I got to follow behind the bullshit and clean
Okay.
that up.
Mm.
Make
That's
amends.
not easy.
Ooh,
That's not easy.
that's accountability too.
Oh man, watch out now. Hold on.
Making amends.
This is for
Making
entertainment
amends.
purposes.
I
only.
always say
Don't you do that.
that accountability factor, baby. We
Do
got two
people
men
even-
on this. Have two men on this podcast. I call them men because that's what they are. The difference between a man and a boy is a man is going to take accountability. A boy is not.
I gotta ask a question.
But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, thank you for being men, right? But I gotta ask everybody on this panel a question. Do you know how to make amends to yourself? Because that ties into forgiving yourself. Like actually make amends to yourself. And what does that look like for everyone? Because you just said that you had to clean up a lot of bullshit, right? So I'm asking, like, what did that look like? What did making those amends look like for each one of you?
Oh, does that mean you got like to go back in your past and talk to people and certain situations?
You gotta sit yourself down. You got
we're forgiving ourselves, right?
Yeah,
Forgiving
ourselves.
Ourselves, because I believe that if love is an action and a commitment, and like instead of what they think that love is, and forgiving yourself is of love, then that means that if you forgive yourself, you've got to take actionable steps. You've got to take actionable steps. You've got to make a commitment. You've got to do things in order to sometimes forgive yourself. So my question is that if you really are committed to forgiving yourself and you're making amends to yourself, right? What does that look like for everybody?
Oh, okay. I can start off. So I use tools because I'm a scientist in this whole thing. I'm an artist and I'm a scientist.
I love it.
So I'm gonna journalize my thoughts and my feelings, right? Just to inventory and say, what am I working with so I can create something new, right? So good example, a more recent one, parenting, right? And I even made a song about this called No Yelling, right? And that has been a long-term goal of mine to stop yelling at my kids, right? To at least temper that. Put some conviction in my voice and bass in my voice, but I don't want to yell at you and bark, right?
Yeah.
So kids, they argued over the weekend, they tore up something in the house, and you're gonna react, right? The question is, are you aware when you're reacting? Are you
Mm.
mindful of your reaction? So the first reaction, you want to get that out the way. You don't want that at your target audience. You want to get that out the way. It's kind of like, oh, okay, got the first one out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you want to go in there clear, right? So with them, you know, looking at what's really important, getting rid of the frustration and anger and saying, okay, this is good. Now, John, what is really important? What is the main goal? What do you want to see? I want to see them make a commitment in their minds to a new behavior other than this. We understand what happened and why the argument happened, right? So it's kind of like I don't want to say it's a double entendre, but I'm teaching them to do what I'm doing in that moment. This is the forgiveness right here.
Yeah.
So it's happening right there as I'm telling, you know, like that's how layered it is. And so, not saying it was easy. I'm not saying that. It's challenging, but the neural network says, okay, John, after you take this pathway, it's already paved. The road is paved. So the next time it's going to be easier. It's not going to be dirt road. So it looks like me strategizing and saying, okay, I want to do this. I know this is not good. All right, I understand why I did that, but I'm making the change and this is what it's going to look like. So the first thing I have to ask myself is, what do I want it to look like? Once I figure that out, I just do it. What do you say? Decide, choose,
execute.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay, Mr. Jose Oliver, the people that flow into your life are a reflection of you. So you can cut off people all you want. If that inner game is not fixed, they will be right back in a different form.
Yeah, you the flow, be the flow, you the flow, be the flow.
We don't have to
what
have
type
Jose
of flow,
on as
though?
a special guest.
What's your currency look like?
Man, Jose been like that though, man.
Yeah, what's your currency look like? What's your flow look like? What's your current look like?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the
Lord
Oliver.
have mercy.
Facts, big facts.
Man.
Facts, man. And I want to say, this is where I had to look at me. I didn't like my flow. I didn't like my flow. I was doing more destructive than I considered to be helpful. Yeah, I was yeah. And like I say, to kill that version of me off. Look, it's a thing within. I'm gonna say this real fast. Yeah, I'm gonna say this real fast. So it's this little thing that says, "Here I found you, here I left you. Would you be offered from?" And I say that to say, when you knew me then,
okay,
I'm gonna say it again. When you knew me then, just because you meet me later, don't mean that I'm the same.
Yeah.
Because see, I have an understanding of me then. I have an understanding of me now. I also have an understanding of who I'm becoming.
That's dangerous. That is the integration, folks. That's when you become dangerous, man.
Yeah.
That's when you become dangerous.
So I went through levels of forgiving myself because I understood where I was going. I understand where I'm going. I understand who I'm becoming. And the more I take that shovel and dig a little bit more out, I'm replacing it with all the stuff I need.
Positive.
Exactly. Like you just said, some of those tests that I had to go through with certain people that I had to cut off, I had to cut me off. I had to cut me off. I had to eliminate a lot within me, so that way that wasn't even in my peripheral anymore.
That's a good one. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries.
Big time.
You know,
Love Shine has been with us since day one.
Peace to Love Shine. Much love, respect, Queen.
Man, she has been with us since day one. Thank you for that.
My circle. Ooh.
Hey,
Nico. Ooh. That is so true. Wise man learn. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful.
From his first period.
Some people are slow learners.
Always be the full.
Some people are just slow learners. Yeah.
Always
But
beginning.
that second line, the fool is always beginning.
Never
Uh-oh.
finishing. How can you
Uh-oh.
complete something?
Got to commit too.
Yeah,
Remember,
you gotta be.
commitment. Yeah, it's a commitment, right? So
Yeah, you gotta be
Yeah.
people
consistent. On
don't
top of
commit.
that, yeah.
I gotta read something, right? I gotta read something.
Oh,
I posted this not
thank you for that bar, Nico Phillips Bay.
you had just said this. I think it was you, King Newborn, right? You said, or it might have been you. It might have been you, Skywalker. You basically said like, in order for us to forgive ourselves, we've got to be able to take a look internally, right?
Yeah.
I have noticed out here, right? In order for us to grow, and I posted it on my wall like not so long ago. I'm gonna read the quote. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves without running away.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to forgiving yourself, you gotta look at shit. You gotta be
You
able
gotta
to
look at
see your shit.
everything. You got to sit
Every
in
part.
with what you have done.
All of it.
Ooh,
And you
What they
gotta
say?
sit in it.
Wallow in it.
You gotta
Bask
man.
sit
in
in
it.
it. And that
Yes.
and the thing is that when you are covering up everything that you really are by trying to be somebody else, you are never going to get to know yourself, and you're never going to forgive who you really are.
Oh, okay.
You can dress a lie up and make it look well, right?
And they say in politics, you can't put a lipstick on that pig, right? You can't put a lipstick on the pig because it's still ugly inside, but just because it's ugly, it doesn't mean that it's not worthy.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, Auntie. I don't even know who Auntie is, but
Sharon
hey,
Field.
bro.
Hey, Auntie.
Peace.
I was saying,
Oh,
let's go ahead and keep that because people don't want to look at their shit. That's why you can't
yeah.
forgive yourself. You don't want to look at yourself. And how do I know when I've truly forgiven myself? When I'm able to look at myself and be like, yeah, I did that.
I did
You
that.
know what I'm saying? But because of the fact that I looked at it, I accepted it. It doesn't, to accept, let me go ahead and put this out here too. To accept something doesn't mean that you have to like it. To accept something does not mean that you have to agree with it. It's just accepting what is. For me, accepting my stuff just means that I didn't necessarily like it, but it is what it is. And it just is. I can't change it. I can't do anything about it. The only thing that I can do is accept it. I can either change myself or make amends to those who have hurt, and then I can keep on with the airborne mission. Bam. Period. And that's with me too. I'm sorry, girl. You know I can.
Is it important to make amends?
If we talk about self, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
to change, you
What
gotta
other people?
adapt. Yeah.
Other people.
Let's just remember. So there's a difference between the reconciliation. That's the amendments, right? We're making
Okay.
amendments to the Constitution, which is us.
Okay.
And then the forgiveness is just it opens the door. So the reconciliation is when I get in this room, I'm gonna make some changes around here.
That's what's
The
up.
forgiveness is let me open the door. Let's take off these chains. Let's drop those weights. Let's drop those bags. Everything stays here, folks. Don't move this furniture. And then you go. That's forgiveness.
Sometimes the forgiveness and the action marks are being a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Stop like people pleasing and being a jerk. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mama. Go ahead.
No, Jose, read that. That was, oh my God.
That's it. That's it. You have to
Forgiving
forgive yourself
is
for
a process.
Now, in
Yeah, that's self-awareness right there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
But you
John.
have to
Go ahead.
forgive yourself for not forgiving yourself.
So
Where's
there
my
was a
sign?
question. There was a question that I posed to Nadia when she was replying to this as well, and I asked her, "Why is it so? Why are we so hard on ourselves in the first place? Like, where did that come from? Like, no one is going around. I don't recall anyone saying, "Hey, John, son, hey man, you're gonna have to be hard on yourself if you want to make it through." No one's ever came to me and said that. So where did we get that from? Where does that come from? Why are we so hard on ourselves?
The shouldas.
Yeah.
The shouldas. We shouldn't should on ourselves.
I should have known
right?
better.
I should have known better.
Yeah. Should have
Yeah.
walked away earlier. Yeah. I
Yes.
should have spoke up. I should have told. Coming from a girl from childhood trauma, I should have told someone.
Ooh, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. There are
King?
Yeah.
people are, and especially in today's world, people can't get there. I will keep saying that. I will keep saying that. The shouldas, people don't want to look at that because it's too hard to admit to them. It's too hard for them to admit to that. You know, not some parents and yes, and yes, I grew up being shamed. I grew up being shamed. You should be ashamed for not doing such and such and such. So that, yeah.
So just replying to this, there's a difference between shaming your children and saying, yeah, and again, I'm being hard on myself. When we're saying I'm being hard on myself, that's perfectionism, that's comparison, that's cultural and societal expectations. Those are past experiences and your self-talk, your cognitive biases, your cognitive distortions, the beliefs that you have about your experiences or the beliefs you have about yourself. It's these self-imposed high standards. Maybe it's standards that you got from, again, your culture, your family, or maybe it's a standard you made up from yourself, right? But I'm not going to say that the parents and their shaming tactics are the ones who do it, because you can't explain it all in just one. So there's different motivations, but I want to highlight, it seems more of a something that we acquired internally, but I'm just trying to kind of identify the why. Like what are those elements? Because if we're aware that those elements exist, hey, I'm hard on myself because I believe that, I believe in performing excellently, right?
Yeah.
That's my core belief. And I got that from my parents, or my parents weren't really around and I needed to get out of the hood. And so I had to overperform in order to get here. And so that develops into a mindset. And then when you fail, you refer back to that conditioning because it was there to get you through this, but you didn't know how to turn it off.
You know what
You
it
don't know how to
is?
turn it off.
Nobody teaches us how to fail. Everybody teaches us how to win, but nobody teaches us how to fail. You know what I'm saying?
I would say they teach us how to survive.
I mean, survival is just surviving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like our own biology.
You surviving.
You're
surviving.
Yeah, ain't nobody teaching nobody how to win. If they was winning, we have a lot of winners around.
No, do this.
That part. But nobody teaches us how to fail. If you think about it, from the time that we come out, American school systems, right? We are not taught that it's okay to fail. We are only taught how to perform. Everything is about a performance, how to perform. So nobody teaches us how to fail gracefully. Nobody gives us the grace to be like, okay, didn't do well this time. Let's go ahead and break this down. These are the steps that you need to take after you fail to understand that it's okay. Because remember, because you said team sports. Yes, but even in team sports, some people get so performance ridden that they don't understand it's about the journey, right? So it's like so nobody understands how to fail. I really, honestly, I'm believing now. Sorry, I'm changing my light out. I believe now because I always got to back up. Why? Because I'm a perfectionist. So nobody ever teaches us how to fail gracefully, how to forgive ourselves when we fail, how to acknowledge somebody else when they're winning and we're failing. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask y'all this then. So, okay, because the word that I'm hearing from you now is resilience. Right? So can you teach resilience? Is that something that can be taught, or is this just something you gotta have? Like it's just in you.
It's just in you.
Hey, we have resilience training. We have resilience training.
Yeah.
It's not true. The U.S. military gives you resilience training every day.
That's okay.
So it can be taught, but who's really teaching that?
Okay. It can be taught. Yeah, it can be taught. Yeah, it can be.
It can be introduced. Yeah,
introduced.
I'm just saying, everybody don't make it though.
Everybody
don't make it, man. So it still got to be in you. I'm just saying, everybody don't make it.
It still got to be in you.
It still got to be in you, man.
Okay.
So it's a talent then. Dang, like resilience is like a talent, even though it's a survival tactic. But
we are resilient.
We are not all built the same.
We
But
already
who
know.
introduces it? Now let's ask that question. Who introduces it?
Uh,
Right?
you recognize it. You recognize it as you're coming up. People who you hear stories all the time about people who went through some and took a hit and kept on going.
That's true. But the thing is, okay, so let's go ahead and take this the other way. We've been talking about how some parents they shame, right? Let's take it to the other side of it. What about the helicopter parents? The ones who never want to have their kids fail. The ones who protect them so much that they don't know how to fail. They don't build that resilience. They don't have it introduced to them, right? A baby, okay, yes, Jose, a resilient is nurtured. A baby falls and then is encouraged to get up and try again. But if you don't have that, can you still build resilience?
Yes, it would just take longer. It would take. So we're talking about support, having support to build resilience. Yeah, we're having instrumental social support to build resilience. You gotta have resources. Yeah.
So if we don't have resilience, then we can't fail. Oh, come on, girl. And
Go,
hinder
Renee.
as well.
I'm sorry, honey. You have to call in one of these days. I got to hear. Yeah.
Listen, she got bars. She got bars.
I mean,
he breathing hard. He got something. Let's go with your chest. Say it with your chest.
I mean, in some cases, you can be supported and encouraged, and in some cases, the brain just want more. Come with it. What's up? We made for this. I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna keep going through it over and over and over and
Stubborn.
over. Yeah, it's like, we don't yield. We don't quit. No, we're gonna figure this out.
There are levels.
Like
there are levels.
I'm saying as a baby.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
So resisting change. Okay. Resisting
Facts.
change. Failure to adapt. Ooh. Failure to adapt.
Failure to adapt is one of those things where that's the reason why people can't forgive themselves too, because they have failed to adapt to the circumstances.
Oh, God.
They have failed to adapt to who they have become. Let's go ahead and bring it on back.
Girl, you gave me goosebumps.
I failed to adapt to who I've. Oh my God! And the old conditioning is still there, and I'm conflicted.
And you know what? We see this all over social media right now.
Oh my God!
Because sometimes when you wake up and you realize, you be like, wait a minute, who am I? What you mean? Just last week. So you don't know how you got hurt? Oh no.
I'm gonna tell you, some of the biggest people out there, man, have not forgiven themselves because their social media is curated. They don't want to take a look at who they really are. They don't want to. They don't want. Say it again. Because they don't want to pull the curtain back. Because if they pull the curtain back, then that means that they got to take a look at themselves. They got to confront themselves, and if they don't,
and they ain't ready to see that ugly truth about who they truly are.
Decisions.
There's ugly in everybody, though.
There's
ugly in everybody.
But that ain't bad. What you mean? That's yang.
It's not bad, but people have. Oh my God! Between pastors, social media, your people around you, everybody has said that your bad is bad. Conditioning. I'm sorry, I'm getting hype, y'all. I'm just like,
it's okay, boo. It's okay. Well, I love you like this, though.
Thank you.
Condition.
I love you
like this.
Hey, let's shout out to all the people that has been chiming in.
Man, y'all today.
We really do appreciate y'all.
All the comments, and let's the last but not least, family. We would be remiss if we say we don't want to grow this podcast. Seriously. If you're chiming in, take the time out to share this to like 2, 3, 5 other people that you know can take something from this podcast and apply it. This is we're not debating amongst each other. We're building. There's a difference. We're sharing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to develop a better culture, which empowers us. I just broke down 1 through 5 for those that understand what I'm saying, but that's peace.
Yeah, just ask your people just ask your people the question, like, hey, what do you think? Why is forgiving yourself so hard? You know, just be curious about your neighbor. Be curious about your neighbor.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah,
So
encourage
true.
one another to grow.
Together.
Mm.
Hold
Oh,
each other accountable while you hold yourself accountable. Be
Woo.
nobody
accountable for
wants
the
to.
person
Oh my
around you.
goodness.
Like, yo, can we step it up
Connections to.
together? Yeah. Build
I'm
those
sorry.
relationships. That's things that
Con-
people don't want to talk about.
Connections today are so surface because people are so scared of getting hurt when they don't understand that the hurt is the first thing that's going to open way to true connection. Nobody knows how to resolve conflict, but conflict is what
Mm.
opens the path to resolution and to connection. You know what I'm saying? If you can't resolve conflict with anybody unless you can see the humanity in them and the humanity in yourself. And to do that, you got to be able to pull back the curtain on who you are and be like, yeah, that's probably me. I can eat that. You know, that's the start to resolving conflict, and that's the start. That is the start to connection. People can't connect because they can't connect to themselves. There's people
Oh.
today are
Mm.
so
Ooh.
disconnected from themselves. And everybody is so afraid to put a connection out there. I get it. Me too. I want to say that. Me too. Look, I'm about to I'm serious. I'm gonna take off my glasses because it makes me cry. How much people are so disconnected from each other because they're disconnected from themselves. They can't forgive others because they can't forgive themselves. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
Because we got to pull back the curtain. I'm sorry, my
No,
bad,
no, no.
y'all.
You winning.
Okay,
You winning
no,
right there. I
babe, it's
love that. I
good.
love that. I love
Oh
that.
my
That is
gosh.
good.
I want to piggyback off that wisdom and say, take time out to trust you enough to make the
Mm.
decision to expose your weakness, your areas that you need to fix, so you can love yourself a lot more,
Because you're worth
so
it.
that could be a reflection
Because you're
Yeah.
worth it. You're worth that.
You're what?
We
all day,
because you're
every day.
worth that.
You're what? I said
Oh
that.
God. I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional, y'all. I'm for
It's
real.
okay. It is okay.
Because I'm a big
Mm.
softie.
But I keep
And I
wanting
know
the
this about
chamber.
myself.
Look, I'm a big softie, but I keep wanting the chamber.
Always. Look, I got the stash right there, locked up. Baby, what you want? You know what I'm saying? I am a softie, but I do keep one in the chamber. Oh my
Baby.
gosh. Yes. We live in a paradigm that treats
Woo.
struggles as character flaws.
Mm.
Ah,
See,
instead of understanding it's essential for growth
it is.
and
You're
connection.
not gonna grow if you won't take out the time to look within and acknowledge who you truly are as a person. Dig deep. Dig deep. Forgive yourself and others because you are worth it. Mm. All right, John, where's your takeaway question at?
Oh, it's right there. Hold on.
All
Let
right.
that one breathe for a moment.
Yeah, life is hard and we live in a paradigm that treats struggles as character flaws.
We are not our struggles. General steps to forgiving yourself. How do you do this thing?
Shit.
What's
Acknowledge
the
it
step by
first.
step, the play by play? How do you do that?
It's gonna be different for everyone, but go ahead.
Well, some general guidelines, right there. Just some. Well, first off,
Okay.
it like Hosea
Acknowledge.
said, it is a multi-step process, right?
Yeah.
And it is a process. So
Mm-hmm.
the first one will probably be understanding your emotions, right?
Mm.
Recognizing and acknowledging the emotions that you're having is crucial.
Yeah.
And being able to label them and distinguish them so you can say, okay, let me put that aside because that's not what's important right now. I need to
Okay.
deal with the issue. I need to accept responsibility, right? I need to face
Mhm.
what I've done without trying to excuse it, trying to justify it, trying to rationalize it. Just say, yo, it is what it is, right? This is the reality. um Expressing remorse. Now, this one, oh, this is the one we're trying to avoid, right? Because
Mm.
remorse is such a painful emotion, right?
It
But if
is.
you genuinely experience that sorrow, you're going to associate it and pair it with that experience. And we tend to avert the negative emotions that are paired with experiences. So if you feel that remorse, You're going to assign that remorse to this behavior that got you in the first place, and that will act as a deterrent. Hey, you remember when you did? No, I ain't trying to feel that no more. Okay, don't do it, because it's going to lead to that, right? Treating yourself with kindness and compassion,
Mm-hmm.
making the amends, apologizing, renewing the
Yeah.
relationship. This
Yeah.
is somewhat reconciliation, but not full blown, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you are trying to make some corrections, and you're starting to, plot, plan, and scheme in that area, trying to restore any damage. And then the last aspect is turning this into wisdom, learning from the experience, looking for ways to learn from what happened, and focusing on making the improvements, the better choices. Okay, I know when I make this choice, the neural pathway leads me here. Do I want to go down there? Nah. Okay, cool. This is a dead end, so we're take that off the map. We ain't going that way no more. That's it.
Mm. This last one by Love Sean, and that's gonna take us right on out. Like I love it. Yeah, you have to unlearn some things. Some of the things we were taught as children, some parents taught based off of emotion and past experience. My mother was an angry person. Her words were cruel and mean. She tells me all the time that she felt mistreated as a child. She refused to forgive herself or anyone. Me working on my myself, brothers, bothers her so much because I don't accept some of the behavior anymore. I don't want to be bound to my past, and I definitely don't want to be an angry person. Ooh, it must have cut off because where all I got is for so long I tolerated the behavior. Yeah, but the fact that you just said I don't
Oh,
accept some
hold
of
on.
her behaviors anymore. I don't. Is there a part two to
Oh yeah.
this?
I don't want to be
Yeah.
I want to be bound to my past, and I definitely don't want to be an angry person for so long. I tolerate things I shouldn't because I didn't want to hurt her, but I was hurting myself. But no
Mm,
more. I choose me now. Mm,
mm.
mm,
And
Peace.
choose me now. Choose yourself first.
mm.
Yeah.
Love yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive yourself. Take that book bag of pain that you walking around with, all that hurt that you have suffered with over the years. It is okay to put it down. You are
Connect to
worth it.
yourself.
Shit, burn
Move
that shit.
light, baby. Yes. Oh my
Pale
God.
light. Okay.
Purge.
Pack
I
light.
love this. I love all of you all.
We love you too, man.
Tonight was perfect, even though I was late. I want to thank you. This is things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by God Level. We will be back here next Tuesday. We're talking about the ego. Mm.
Ooh, ooh.
Nice
Next week,
segue. Damn.
yeah.
That's beautiful. I
Oh, what
want
is
I
it?
want to say this last little piece real
The
quick.
Q
I know we
tune?
got that. Yeah, yeah. I just want to say, everybody that's watching, has been watching, if you can hear my voice, give yourself 2 seconds and hug somebody. Period.
Yeah.
Just hug somebody, man. And, hey, Ms. Ivy Town, you're right. Even if it means hug yourself,
Yeah. Oh,
hug
yeah.
somebody.
Ooh.
Even if it means hug yourself,
Thank you, Nico.
because it's important that we start changing our community for the future.
Yes. This is looking real bleak out there right now.
Man, look at the
Come
stuff
on,
that's
man.
uncomfortable and just realizing
Mhm.
it's just uncomfortable, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm tired of
Yeah.
us fighting each other.
Come
There
on,
you
man.
go.
We
Gender
gotta start
wars.
coming together.
For
That shit's
what?
so retarded.
We gonna talk about that one day.
I would love that.
The fact that
Let
you
me.
said you would love that, I'm scared. But
I
anyway,
would
this is
love
things that
that
people don't want to
conversation.
talk about. We will see you all back here next week on Tuesday, 7 p.m. John, you got me.
Yes, yes.
Peace.
Salute y'all.
So